Now there are two main types of ingredients that go into our compost heap. There are green ingredients and brown ingredients. So let's have a look at them and we'll make some compost. Most familiar of all is of course kitchen compost. So this is fruit and vegetable trimmings. Now you can use citrus as long as it's unwaxed, so probably citrus that you've grown yourself, but not too much. Fruit and vegetable trimmings are okay, eggshells as well, but we don't want to add any meat, any dairy products or pasta. They won't break down very quickly. Also, they'll draw vermin into the heap in numbers that you really don't want. So with your kitchen compost, a good mixture of everything. We've got chicken compost here. Now this is fresh out of the chicken coop, and although there's straw in it and wood shavings, there's a lot of chicken poo too. Now this is really high in nitrogen, so it's a powerful green ingredient, even though it's surrounded with straw. This will kick the composting process off very quickly. Although coffee grounds are black and they look fairly well rotted already, this is in fact another high nitrogen ingredient. It's a green ingredient. You don't want to add too much of it. It can form a hard layer, so you're going to mix this in to your compost heap. Horse poo is a really great garden ingredient, but it has to be well rotted before we add it to the garden. So this is it in its green state. It hasn't really started to break down yet. It's actually quite dry. There's loads of grass in it. So that goes in as a green ingredient when it's fresh. And lawn trimmings can be added to a compost heap, but we don't want to do thick layers, otherwise you get that horrible smelly slag where the decomposition is going really, really fast. It's very acidic and it's not going to be any good for our gardens or our compost heaps. So lawn trimmings, add them in fine layers in between your other ingredients. They should be fine. If you're near to the coast, then beach cast seaweed is another great nitrogen-rich composting ingredient. This breaks down really, really quickly, and it's a really good part of the composting process. So those are the green ingredients. So the brown composting ingredients, now these are full of carbon. Carbon, it slows the process down. It powers the process, but if it's just brown material on its own, your composting is going to take a long time. So it's about uniting the green and the brown materials. Some of the brown materials we've got here, we've got pea straw. Now these are old egg cartons. Any undyed paper is highly compostable. You just got to shred it and tear it up so that the air can get to it even when it's in the heap, so oxygen can get around it. Things like this cardboard box we don't want to use. Anything that's got coloured inks on it, generally coloured inks can be toxic, and it's got a kind of a shiny finish to it, so it's not going to break down all that quickly. This is wood ash. Wood ash from undyed timber, logs from your fireplace. That's a good source of brown composting component. It's got carbon in it, but we're not going to add too much of that. And these are untreated wood shavings, fairly finely shaved. They'll break down quickly. They'll combine well with the green ingredients. So the idea is to mix your brown ingredients and your green ingredients about half and half, 50-50. That's the basic principle. And if you get it right, you end up with this gear here. We've seen this before. This is well rotted black compost. It's going back into the garden to fuel new plants and new crops. So let's go and make some compost.